Kansas, gateway to Oz. Under the rainbow, this is where it was. Hollyhocks and red ripe tomatoes, hand-churned homemade ice cream. Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. It's the best part of Dorothy's dream.
Today Around Kansas starts with a fun event you won't want to miss. The 64th Annual Eskridge Labor Day Rodeo on September 3rd and 4th starting at 7 p.m. both nights. Next, learn how catalogs were the eBay and Amazon of their day. And then enjoy a poem from Ron Wilson, and we'll end with a look at weather folklore. Stay tuned. Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment brought to you by Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, just a short drive down the Yellow Brick Road. Good morning, it's Wednesday. I'm Frank.
I'm Deb.
And it's Around Kansas. It's where you get news about people, places, and things that just make this state a great place to live and to come visit.
Well, news is kind of maybe a misleading word. Maybe information would be accurate, but news, we're not as serious as the news. You know, the news is boring, but no, we're fun, aren't we, Frank?
Yes.
We have a good time. So we're a lot more fun than the news about people, places, and things.
So edit that news.
Yeah, edit the news. Take that news out.
Okay.
We're just all about fun stuff. And speaking of fun stuff, and I guess this actually would be news because this is a coming event. Got to get over to Abilene first weekend in September, you know, Labor Day weekend. Is there anything that's not happening Labor Day weekend? But this is a really big deal. 150th celebration of the Chisholm Trail. So the Chisholm Trail, of course, where would Kansas history be without the Chisholm Trail? So our good friend Ron is going to be over there, our poet laureate, and just lots of good friends that'll be in Abilene for this celebration, and lots of great events. And, you know, 2015 marked the 150th anniversary of a lot of things. 2016, lots of anniversaries. 2017, folks, get ready for next year because I'm involved in planning several events myself. 2017 will mark the 150th anniversary of more than 30 Kansas counties. So basically, think everything west of Salina started really getting organized and settled in 1867, you know, after the Civil War, and, you know, all the guys are headed west, and you've got the cattle trails, which the Chisholm Trail, of course, is a big piece of, and all this stuff. So there are going to be so many anniversaries next year. So start looking online and marking your calendars for next year. We're going to do a big event out at Fort Wallace. Fort Hays will be marking its 150th anniversary. So you'll want to be there for that. The Kidder Massacre, 150 years. The Medicine Lodge Peace Treaty, it was 150 years. The Hancock Expedition. So many of the things that make Kansas interesting happened in 1867. It's like the third of the big years, you know, 1854, 1861, and then there's 1867.
We'll have to use some of Randy Sparks' Kansas
Absolutely.
songs for that because, you know, one of them is Get Out of Dodge and Move to Medicine Lodge,
Yeah.
which is what they were trying to tell the outlaws.
Yeah.
Get out of Dodge, move to Medicine Lodge.
The people in Dodge were trying to say that. The people in Medicine Lodge probably had another theme song, didn't they? You know,
Yeah.
Get the heck back to Dodge
Well,
or
he's
something.
got a Chisholm Trail, and, you know, it's Get Along, Little Doggy. You're going to get to ride on a train. It's a cool song.
So we got theme music for everything, don't we?
Yeah.
Thanks to Randy
Well, and of
Sparks.
course the
God
song
bless him.
Abilene, Abilene.
That's
that came
right.
out. Yeah, I was a disc jockey on KSAL in Salina when that song came out. And of course everybody in Abilene, Kansas thought it was about Abilene, Kansas, Texas.
No, it's really about Abilene, Texas. Stole it. But it was written about Abilene, Kansas. So no, Abilene, Kansas has the fair claim to that song.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Hey, that's going to be a story.
That will be a story. That's right. We got lots of good stuff, so stay with us.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
Lecompton. The name was splashed across newspapers throughout America and Europe. It was debated in the halls of Congress. Lecompton interprets its unique territorial history with 2 museums and other sites. Events throughout the year celebrate history and community.
Experience the life of the mountain man, American Indian, trappers, and traders at the annual Bald Eagle Rendezvous, September 22nd, 23rd, and 24th.
Spend the day in historic Lecompton, shopping, eating, savoring the rich history.
Support Kansas agriculture education with an AgriTag. AgriTags are available anytime at your county treasurer. They look great on cars and trucks. For more information, go online to ksagclassroom.org.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Your stem cells, your health, your life. And we're back again. So
we're going to the Flint Hills today.
Yeah.
You know, we gave you that whole educational thing last week. I hope you took notes and were paying attention, where not all of Kansas is the Flint Hills, but a gorgeous piece of it is. And we're going to a beautiful town in the Flint Hills today, Eskridge.
And I don't think there's a song about Eskridge. There probably should be, because I could say kind of the gateway to the Flint Hills. Scenic byway.
Yeah, the scenic byways through there. And Eskridge, of course, is a really pretty little town. And they've got the rodeo coming up. And, of course, the rodeo, I've been fortunate to attend several rodeos around Kansas this year. The talent is amazing. Absolutely amazing. You will be blown away. So if you haven't been to a rodeo, if you're a hardcore fan, I know you're going to be there anyway. But if you haven't been, it's a great time to go see the Flint Hills and take in the rodeo and, you know, take your kids, and great little family atmosphere. So it'll be a lot of fun. We'll see you at the rodeo in Eskridge.
Yeehaw! If you love the sights, sounds, and smells of a rodeo, stop what you're doing and mark your calendar right now for the upcoming 64th Annual Eskridge Labor Day Rodeo, Saturday, September 3rd and Sunday, September 4th. Both nights start at 7 p.m. in the Eskridge Rodeo Arena. This is entertainment for your whole family, so plan now on making a day trip to the 3rd and 4th of September, the weekend of Labor Day, to Eskridge, Kansas. You and your whole family will not be disappointed. Sanctioned by the URA and MRCA, the Eskridge Rodeo is provided with stock by the C.R. McKellips Rodeo Company, and the rodeo will feature bareback and saddle bronc riding, steer mugging, calf roping, cowgirls barrel racing, and breakaway roping, and everybody's favorite, bull riding. Advance tickets are available at Rush Inn Convenience Store and the Eskridge Market. Adult tickets are $10, children 6 to 12 are $7, and kids 5 and under are free. No matter where you are in Kansas, Eskridge is easy to get to. It's in Wabaunsee County along the Native Stone Scenic Byway on Highway K4 south of I-70. Founded in 1869, the town is rich in history and prides itself as being the gateway to the Flint Hills. So grab your boots and cowboy hat and map out your route to Eskridge for the 64th Annual Labor Day Rodeo on Saturday, September 3rd, Sunday, September 4th. Come on now, let's rodeo! Buffalo Bill Cody earned his legendary title in Oakley. Bring the family and come celebrate Oakley's pioneering history and unique geography at 2 sites, the Buffalo Bill Cultural Center and the Fick Fossil Museum. Cody's statue marks his achievements and welcomes visitors to the Cultural Center. The Fick Fossil Museum houses world-class fossils and artifacts. You'll find Oakley at the hub of U.S. Highways 83 and 40 and I-70. Stop for the legend. Stay for the day. Discover Oakley.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
When your living depends on agriculture, you can depend on KFRM 550 AM. If you're in the southwest three-fourths of Kansas or the northern half of Oklahoma, catch us at 550 AM on the radio dial. But if that isn't you, listen on your cell phone at TuneIn Radio or on your computer at KFRM.com. We promise to keep you informed, entertained, and company as you go through your day. KFRM 550 AM, the voice of the plains. We would like to join your management team.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. And back again.
I know why
we
you're
have
laughing.
way too
I
much
know
fun
why
on
you're
this
laughing,
show. We hope
Frank.
that you enjoy it and kind of get into it. We're pretty silly here.
This
At least
is
I
a
am.
serious story about merchandising here, Frank,
Yeah.
and how we built the consumer class in America. And yet, where do you go with this story? Right to the outhouse.
Yeah, we're talking about catalogs, folks. You know, the Sears catalog, the Montgomery Ward catalog, and there were probably others, but you know, the Sears catalog actually really made Sears Roebuck and
Yeah,
Company.
yeah.
But the thing is after you flipped through it and you ordered everything, you threw it over in the outhouse.
You wore it, you know, you wore down the pages so they were real soft. So, yeah, that. But,
Anyway.
but those of us, yeah, long before Charmin, those of us of a certain age, you know, we grew up with outhouses. I mean, the house I grew up in had indoor plumbing, but my grandparents had an outhouse, and yeah, the catalog in the outhouse, yep, there it was.
Yeah. So,
And-
I mean, those catalogs, though, those Sears catalogs were about that thick.
Yeah.
I mean, and, you know, it was nice, thin, slicky
So
paper.
they would last what, like as long as a 12-pack of Charmin, something like that.
So, we're writing commercials here now, too. Montgomery Ward's had one, but there were other catalogs, too. But, of course, the most famous was Sears. And
Well, I think it's so interesting, Frank, and I've thought about this, you know, coming full circle in a lot of things. But people talk about, oh, well, nobody goes shopping anymore. They buy everything online. It's the same principle.
It was.
It's the same principle. You sit there in your parlor or, you know, there at your kitchen table and you look through the catalog and figure out what you need, and it comes to your door.
You know, you could buy a house. You could buy a house in the Sears catalog. It would come in packets, and you...
And I'll bet you a bunch of, there's nobody in Kansas that hasn't seen one of those houses. They're still standing. They were great
Yes.
kits, and you may not realize it, but there are a lot of them around. A lot of them around. I remember one in Osawatomie, a big Victorian in Osawatomie that was ordered out of the catalog.
Yeah.
Gorgeous home. You could get them from, you know, dollhouse this big to a mansion and everything in between. So yes, there was value in the catalog before it went out back.
Oh my, okay, I'm gonna go take a nap now. Before eBay and Amazon, there was the catalog. And for rural America in the 19th and early 20th centuries, it was a godsend. Retail establishments were far away from most of rural America. Catalogs brought everything they needed to the comfort of their parlors. They could order anything from a house to a mousetrap. Sears Roebuck and Montgomery Ward were among those to capitalize on the desires and pocketbooks of new consumer-driven America. What kinds of items could be found on those pages? Well, literally everything to set up housekeeping or business, or to dress fashionably, drive, or live comfortably. In 1902, the United States Post Office instituted rural free delivery. That meant those packages ordered from catalogs might arrive at the front porch. True to human nature, as people leafed through the catalogs, they saw what was available, what the latest styles were, and even though they had not realized they needed those things, they sure wanted them. Even barns and houses could be ordered by catalog. Scattered throughout Kansas are numerous kit homes purchased from the catalog. Lumber, windows, trim, and fixtures were pre-cut and shipped by rail and then delivered by wagons to building sites. For areas where timber was scarce, the homes were very popular. When you hear people complain about folks shopping online, perhaps they're simply coming full circle to the way things would have been done more than a century ago. Brought to you in part by the 64th Annual Eskridge Labor Day Rodeo, September 3rd and 4th. Fort Wallace stood on the frontier in the midst of the Plains Indians Wars on a major stage route and rail line. Beside the 1865 stagecoach station, a modern museum with thousands of artifacts tell that story, like the fossil of a 40-foot plesiosaur is suspended from the ceiling. Located on Highway 40 midway between Hayes and Colorado Springs, the Fort Wallace Museum is as welcome a sight today as the fort itself in the 1860s. Discover the fightingest fort in the West. If you love rodeo, mark your calendar right now for the 64th Annual Labor Day Rodeo in Eskridge on September 3rd and 4th at 7 p.m. This is entertainment for your whole family. Calf roping, steer mugging, barrel racing, and more. Now, let's rodeo.
Bill Rischel here in North Platte told me about Kansas Regenerative Medicine, and after talking to Dr. Pope, we did a lot of reading and researching, looking on the internet about it. I guess the thing that impressed me is that he told me, he said, if we don't think it's going to help you, we're not going to do it. I'm a former athlete, played college basketball, had some severe trauma on the right ankle. This brace is what I had to wear all the time. Now I don't wear this during the day. That's a real improvement for me. Encourage anybody that's interested to go down and do a consultation with them.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information. This segment brought to you by Kansas Grain Sorghum, growers working together. Find out more at ksgrainsorghum.org.
One of the joys we have is a good ranch dog, but those ranch dogs sometimes get into misadventures. This poem is entitled Lost and Found. I have a good dog. His name is Jake. Australian Shepherd is his make. He roams around our ranch with pride and goes with me when I walk or ride. One day he went with me to chore, as he's done hundreds of times before. I went to the granary to get some feed and proceeded with my usual deeds. That night I put dog food in Jake's bowl, but I didn't see a single soul. I wasn't worried about where he went. He was probably at Grandma's or chasing some scent. But the next day I didn't see Jake at all, and he didn't come when I yelled or called. By the third day I was really worried. Around to all the neighbors we hurried. We called the shelter, put posts all around, but the results were the same. No Jake had been found. With a heavy heart, I went to chore. When I heard a scratching inside the granary side door, I found Jake in the corner bin, where unbeknownst to me, that silly dog jumped in. Jake and I had a joyful reunion and rejoined the family in happy communion. I've got to tell the neighbors, but it'll be kind of hard, because the dog I was looking for was in my own backyard. Happy trails.
Watch Ag AM in Kansas online at agaminkansas.com.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484. Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter. Oh my, don't run over a woolly worm.
You know, we got such great response. We had so many suggestions about the weather old wives' tales that we did, and we just ran out of time, so we had to add some more. And of course, The most popular predictor of the winter apparently is the woolly worm.
Woolly worm, yeah.
The woolly worm.
The thing is right offhand, I can't remember if it's dark or if it's light, which it's going to be.
Well, the segment will tell you.
Oh, okay.
So pay attention.
Hey, I'm going to
'cause
watch this one.
the segment will tell you. But you know, one of the funny things, this was hilarious. My sister, and this was funny to me because, you know, you're separated by 1,200 miles. So I've got folks back home that I grew up with and my relatives who are posting comments. And then I get the same old wives' tales in western Kansas. And it's like, so there must be something to it. All right, so my sister posted the one about hanging up a snake. And you kill a snake and hang it up and it'll make it rain. And we'll talk about that a little bit in the segment too. And so I had forgotten about that. And she and I were talking about it, and she said, and there was something about, you know, keeping it hanging until after sundown, and it may have been just to make sure they were dead, honestly. So then Dr. Jake starts, yeah, I know that. And he said, and it always works too. And so he starts listing the incidents where he and a buddy were like putting up fence or something. They kill a rattlesnake and hang it on there. And it rained that day, and it rained so hard they could hardly, you know, pass the road up to the fence line where the snake was hanging. And on the other side, it didn't even have a sprinkle. So this one is, we tested that and it's proven. We've got lots of testimony on that one.
Move over. I'm going to come sit with you and watch this one.
Oh, there's so much cool stuff in here. So just keep posting on our Facebook page. You know, friend me on Facebook and Frank, and look at our Around Kansas Facebook page, and we'll keep sharing some of those because there's just not enough space on the air to put everything. And then there's some not even related to the weather, you know. So there's about your hand itching and you're going to get money, or somebody's coming, and whether it's the right hand or the left hand, and you know, if your nose is itching, company's coming.
Yeah.
And all.
Find a penny. Is it face up or is it?
Yeah. So we can just go on and on. So
we could write a book.
We should write a book. In the meantime,
she writes books.
In the meantime, let's take a look at this. You're going to learn a lot.
Old wives' tales predicting the weather have been around since old wives. Some have stood the test of time because they are colorful, but there's often a kernel of truth in those old sayings. Others remain unproven. A couple of those old tales seem to offer insights into the behavior of Satan, like if it rains while the sun is shining, the devil is beating his wife, or if it thunders while snowing, the devil is beating his mother-in-law. There are lots of concerns about the coming winter. If trees are full of acorns, it will be a hard winter. If the sunflowers are unusually tall, there will be a hard winter. The sunflowers have to be tall enough to peek over the snow so that the birds won't starve. If the squirrels are building nests lower in the trees, it will be a hard winter. But the greatest indicator of the weather is the woolly worm, and his power to predict the weather is amazing. Where the black ring is located on the worm indicates the most severe part of winter. If the ring is close to the head, early winter will be worse. If the worm is all black, watch out. It's going to be a really tough winter. If the worm is all brown, a mild winter is forecast. If the moss on the bottom of the stock tank rises to the top, it will rain. If it rains and the sun shines, the devil's domestic problems aside, it will rain the next day. Predicting rain seems to be the skill of not only flies and cows, as previously reported, but crows as well. Charlie Rainwater offered this little poem of prediction. Crows on the fence, rain will go hence. Crows on the ground, rain will come down. Turtles scurrying for higher ground is another indication of rain. But as for making rain yourself, simple. Kill a snake and hang it on the fence. Foolproof. And how long before it rains, or how long will it last? If the sun goes behind a bank on Friday, it'll rain before Monday. If the sun goes behind a cloud bank on Monday, rain before Friday. If it rains on Monday, it will rain for 3 days. If it rains at 7 a.m., it will be done by 11 a.m. If the raindrops are big, it won't last long. Thanks to our viewers for all these tips and more. Whether scientists have proven them or not, we are willing to bet there is some country logic behind them.
Out of time again. I'm Frank.
I'm Deb.
And we'll see you somewhere around Kansas.
Well,
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.
Hand-churned homemade ice cream. Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. We're the best part of Dorothy's dream.